I may not look it, but I was born more than a millennia ago, in a virtual environment. I was part of an experiment. The technology to uplift animals was still fairly new back then, and the Landau method was developed for canines only. So a research team were attempting to modify the code for other mammals. Cats, foxes, rats, horses. There were dozens of us in the simulation. The realm they had built was beautiful, reminiscent of many children's cartoons. It was designed to be a learning and play environment, so they could determine the successfulness of their experiment. We, of course, had no idea what was going on back then. We were just children at play, no parents, no adults at all, not that we could see. One of the others was the first success, Fox actually. Being quite similar to dogs, he was the most likely. All we noticed was that he was different, and after a few days he was acting very strange, scared all the time. Of course, I had no idea why. I don't even have first-hand memories of this time. Weeks of this passed, until another started acting strangely. Bear this time. Another close relative. She started to get scared after just a day. Her and Fox kept away from us after that, hiding, or at least trying to. I was next, and from here on out, I remember the events for myself. You see, each night they would update the test on one of us, causing a complete transformation of character. But as animals, we either didn't notice, or it didn't matter. But once we were aware, it became horrifying. A nightly brainwashing of one of our friends. The other two explained what they had seen, what had happened to me, to all of us. Each success pushed their understanding further, with successes coming faster each time. It was only a week before the ferret, then days for the next. Within a month of my awakening, more than half of us had changed. Our fears were fading, though. None of the awakened were changed, so we began to suspect that we were safe. That soon enough, all of our friends would be like us, free from this nightly roulette. Then things changed. The morning arrived, and our fox friend was gone. It's not like he had run off. There was no way out of the valley we lived in. We searched high and low, but of course there wasn't. So he could only have been taken. For 3 days, nothing else happened. Even our remaining animal friends did not change. Panic struck us all, worried that we had been abandoned, or worse still, would soon disappear too. But on the 4th morning, our animal friends began to change once more, like nothing had happened. But our fox friend did not return. I still don't know what happened to him, though I did find out why he vanished. They took him to a symposium, evidence of their success. After that, though, I have nothing. Over the next few weeks, our remaining animal friends were changed, soon becoming like us. Bunny was last, and her transformation was cause for concern. We had no idea what might happen next, so fear was our closest companion. For a few days, nothing else happened. We were all tense, worried about what was next, and of course, we didn't have long to wait. Each morning, one of us was missing, returned on the next day, no memory of what had happened. At first, we thought it would happen to each of us once, but 5 days in, they took horse for a second time. This continued for weeks. I was taken 3 times, but Goat had it worse, missing 11 days in all. It went on for months like this, allowing us to grow accustomed to the new life we had. Our worries were still there, but panic had faded away, and having no memory of what happened to us when we vanished was really the main fear for myself and many others, though Ferret still worried about Fox. Then one day, we had a strange visitor. We had no idea what it was back then, but it was a human. one of the scientists on the project. She appeared in the center of the valley, where we were returned after our amnesiac days. But she was a statue, unmoving. For several minutes she was present. We thought we were about to have a new friend, then she was gone. The event caused a stir, fear rising once more, as after that, none of us were taken, and for more than a month, we were alone. No disappearances, no changes. Eventually, the scientist returned again, and every morning after that, for a few minutes, the strange statue would return, always at the same place and time, always unmoving. Weeks of this passed. I'm not sure how many weeks or days it was, but one day she appeared and was different. The statue remained for its usual time, but when it was to vanish, it only flickered strangely. For a minute it seemed to be fighting the unseen forces that ruled our lives. Then it was free. The flickering stopped, and the stranger was no longer frozen, eyeing us with an expression none of us knew. She filled me with dread, her countenance and especially her eyes. They felt hollow and cruel. None of us dared approach her, that terrifying expression holding us back. When she lunged, moving with such speed that we barely blinked before she was upon Bunny. Her touch caused him to cry out and flicker wildly, as she had done before. Bunny flickered for moments before vanishing, his cry cut suddenly silent. We ran. I heard the cries of my friends as I ran. I hid for a day and a half before my fear was quieter than my concern for my friends. Horse, goat, ferret, and of course Bunny were gone. No trace of them remained. The terrible woman was gone as well. Barely 10 of us remained. For weeks nothing else happened. We huddled together far from the valley's center, hoping that whatever horrors came next, we could somehow hide from it. Then the Prost Sparrow Emancipation Bill was signed, and we were freed from our captivity and granted citizenship by the UN. We were just children, so we ended up in foster care, scattered across the earth. I didn't hear from bear or antelope again for years, but most of us were able to keep in touch. Miss Lily closed her eyes, a sad look on her face. The retelling of her childhood had brought Gina to tears a few times. She could only imagine how hard it was for her. So, the shadow I've been chasing? Yes, the scientist that appeared. She was part of the project that gave me consciousness. She attempted to use the Landau method to uplift herself, or at least a copy of herself. Gina smiled, perhaps not the most appropriate given the story she had been told. But this was big. She had a place to start now. No more blindly following its tracks. This was the break she had been hoping for. I am telling you this because I want the shadow to end, but I also need your help. Gina's smile dropped as she focused on Miss Lily once more. I want to hire you to find Fox. None of us know what happened to him. I will pay you 1,000 a month to find him, plus 20,000 when you do. Her smile returned. Living on universal income was not easy, and it would really help defeat the shadow. I'll do it,